What if the exercise you're doing right now to stay healthy is actually the thing that could kill you within the next 6 months? I'm not talking about some rare, unusual situation that happens to one person out of millions. I'm talking about 4 specific exercise mistakes that send thousands of seniors to emergency rooms every single year. And tragically, many of them never make it back home alive. These aren't complicated medical mysteries that require expensive tests to identify. They're simple, preventable errors that you might be making every single day without realizing the genuine danger you're placing yourself in. One of these mistakes happens in the first 60 seconds of your exercise routine and causes more cardiac arrests in people over 60 than any other single factor doctors can identify. Stay with me because I'm about to show you exactly what these 4 deadly mistakes are and the simple corrections that could literally save your life starting tomorrow morning. Gerald from Pennsylvania was 67 years old and decided to start a walking program to lose weight and get healthier like his doctor suggested at his annual checkup. He skipped one simple 5-minute step that doctors recommend before every exercise session. 3 weeks into his new routine, he collapsed on his morning walk with a massive heart attack. His neighbor found him unconscious on the sidewalk and called for help immediately. He survived, but his cardiologist told him bluntly that skipping that one step nearly cost him his life and caused permanent damage to his heart muscle. Mistake 1. Starting exercise without proper warm-up. Your heart and blood vessels need preparation time before intense activity, and skipping that preparation is exactly like flooring your car's gas pedal when the engine is ice cold on a winter morning. You know exactly what happens when you do that to a car. The engine struggles, parts wear out faster, and you risk serious damage. The same destructive process happens inside your body when you jump straight into exercise without warming up properly first. Research published by the American Heart Association shows that seniors who start intense or moderate exercise without warming up first have a 340% higher risk of experiencing cardiac events in the first 15 minutes of activity. That's not a small, negligible increase you can ignore. That's more than triple the risk of having a heart attack or stroke in those critical opening minutes when your body isn't ready for the demands you're suddenly placing on it. Your blood vessels are constricted when you're at rest. Your heart rate is low and steady, and your muscles are tight and unprepared for sudden movement or exertion. When you suddenly demand intense activity without any transition period, your blood pressure spikes dramatically and dangerously. Your heart struggles to pump blood through constricted vessels that haven't opened up yet, and the electrical system of your heart can misfire under that sudden overwhelming stress. Think of it like turning on every appliance in your house simultaneously. The electrical system gets overloaded. Vincent from Illinois was 71 and jumped straight onto his treadmill at his usual walking speed of 3 miles per hour every single morning. No stretching beforehand, no gradual start, just immediate activity at full speed. 8 minutes into his routine, he collapsed on the moving treadmill from sudden cardiac arrest. The paramedics who arrived and revived him told his wife that this exact scenario happens far more often than most people realize, and it's almost always completely preventable with proper warm-up procedures. The consequence of skipping your warm-up isn't just theoretical risk you can afford to ignore. Cold muscles are extremely prone to tears and strains that can sideline you for months of recovery. An unprepared cardiovascular system faces sudden dangerous spikes in blood pressure that can rupture blood vessels in your brain, causing immediate stroke, or trigger irregular heartbeats that lead directly to cardiac arrest and death. Your joints, without proper warm-up, face increased friction and stress that accelerates arthritis and can cause acute injuries. But the solution is remarkably simple and takes less time than brewing your morning coffee or reading the newspaper. Before any exercise session, regardless of how light you think it will be, Spend 5 to 7 minutes doing gentle movement that gradually increases your heart rate and blood flow. Start with slow walking, even just marching in place if you're indoors or if weather prevents outdoor activity. Do some gentle arm circles forward and backward, easy leg swings, holding onto a chair for balance, and mild stretching of major muscle groups. Your specific goal is to feel your body warming up from the inside, your heart rate increasing gradually and comfortably, and your muscles loosening and becoming more pliable before you begin your actual exercise routine. Every single exercise session without a proper warm-up is Russian roulette with your heart, and eventually that dangerous gamble catches up with you in the worst possible way. Mistake 2. Ignoring pain and warning signs during exercise. When was the last time you stopped exercising because something felt wrong? Or have you always just pushed through discomfort thinking it's normal? Or that you're being weak or lazy if you stop? That mindset of pushing through pain kills more seniors during exercise than almost any other single factor. Johns Hopkins cardiologists analyzed comprehensive data from thousands of cardiac deaths that occurred during exercise and found that 78% of seniors who died while exercising had ignored clear, specific warning signs in the minutes immediately before their collapse. These weren't vague feelings or minor discomfort that could be misinterpreted. These were specific symptoms their bodies were screaming at them about, and they made the fatal decision to ignore those urgent warnings and keep pushing. Your body has a sophisticated alarm system designed specifically to alert you when something is dangerously wrong and requires immediate attention. Chest pain or pressure during exercise isn't normal muscle soreness from working hard. Unusual shortness of breath that's distinctly different from regular exercise breathing isn't just being out of shape or needing to build more endurance. Dizziness, nausea, pain radiating to your left arm or jaw, or sudden overwhelming fatigue that makes you want to sit down immediately are cardiac emergency warning signs, not signs that you need to push harder or toughen up mentally. Diane from Texas was 69 and felt distinct chest tightness during her water aerobics class at the community center pool. She mentioned it briefly to the instructor, but decided to keep going because she didn't want to seem weak or make a fuss in front of the other people in the class. 10 minutes later, she suffered a massive heart attack right there in the shallow end of the pool. Other class members pulled her out quickly and performed CPR until paramedics arrived. But she spent 2 weeks in intensive care and has permanent heart damage that could have been completely prevented if she'd simply stopped at the first warning sign. The consequence of ignoring these warning signs is straightforward and brutal. Chest pain during exercise often means your heart muscle isn't getting enough oxygen because coronary blood vessels are blocked or spasming shut. If you keep exercising, you're demanding even more oxygen from a heart that's already starving for oxygen, and that triggers a full cardiac arrest that kills you within minutes. Dizziness means your brain isn't getting adequate blood flow to function properly, and you're literally seconds away from collapsing and potentially hitting your head in a fatal fall. Arm or jaw pain during exercise is your heart's way of screaming that it's in crisis, and ignoring that signal is choosing death. But the solution requires nothing more than listening to your body and having the courage to stop when something feels wrong. If you experience any chest discomfort, pressure, squeezing, or pain during exercise, stop immediately and sit down. If you have severe shortness of breath that doesn't improve within 30 seconds of stopping activity, that's a medical emergency. If you feel dizzy, nauseated, or have pain in your arm, jaw, neck, or back during exercise, stop right now and sit down safely. Don't be embarrassed about stopping. Don't worry about what other people might think of you. Call someone for help or call 911 yourself if symptoms don't resolve completely within 2 to 3 minutes of resting. The next warning sign you ignore during exercise could genuinely be your last. Mistake 3. Doing high-impact exercise with existing health conditions. Running, jumping, and high-impact aerobics might work fine for younger people with healthy bones and joints. But after 60, especially if you have existing health conditions, these activities can shatter bones and trigger fatal cardiac events. This isn't about being negative or telling you to stop moving altogether. This is about matching your exercise to your body's current reality, instead of what your body could do 20 or 30 years ago when you were younger. Mayo Clinic research confirms that seniors with osteoporosis, arthritis, or heart conditions who continue doing high-impact exercise have 5 times higher rates of serious injury and cardiac events compared to seniors who switch to low-impact alternatives that provide exactly the same health benefits without the deadly risks. High-impact exercise means activities where both feet leave the ground simultaneously or where you're pounding your joints with repetitive force. Running, jogging, jumping jacks, high-impact aerobics, and even aggressive hiking on steep terrain all fall into this dangerous category. If you have osteoporosis, which most women and many men over 60 have to some degree, the impact from these activities can cause compression fractures in your spine or hip fractures that lead to complete immobility. And immobility in seniors often leads to fatal complications like blood clots or pneumonia. If you have arthritis in any joint, high-impact exercise accelerates joint destruction and creates chronic inflammation throughout your entire body. If you have any heart condition, even mild ones your doctor is just monitoring, the intense demands of high-impact exercise can push your heart beyond its safe capacity. Harold from Wisconsin was 73 and started a jogging program. Despite having moderate knee arthritis and a borderline heart condition, his doctor was monitoring with regular tests. Within 2 months, he developed a stress fracture in his hip from the repetitive pounding impact. The fracture required surgery and led to complete immobility for 8 weeks of recovery. During that immobility period, he developed a blood clot in his leg that traveled to his lungs, causing a fatal pulmonary embolism that killed him just 3 days after arriving at the hospital emergency room. The consequence of continuing high-impact exercise with underlying conditions isn't just immediate injury you can recover from. It's a cascade of compounding problems, where each problem makes the next problem more likely and more dangerous. Fractures lead to immobility and surgery. Immobility leads to blood clots, pneumonia, and rapid muscle loss. Blood clots lead to pulmonary embolism or stroke that kills you. Joint destruction leads to chronic pain, complete inability to move, depression, and loss of independence. But here's the genuinely good news that should encourage you. You can get all the significant health benefits of exercise without doing any high-impact activities whatsoever. Switch to low-impact exercises that protect your joints and don't overstress your cardiovascular system. Walking on flat surfaces is excellent cardiovascular exercise that carries minimal risk of injury. Swimming and water aerobics give you a complete full-body workout with literally zero impact on your joints. Cycling, either outdoors or on a stationary bike, builds strength and endurance without pounding your bones. Tai Chi improves balance, strength, and flexibility while being so gentle you can do it even with severe arthritis. Chair exercises allow you to build muscle and improve cardiovascular health, even if standing for long periods is difficult. Every single high-impact exercise session is damaging your body in ways you can't see yet, but you absolutely will feel later when the damage becomes irreversible. Switch to low-impact alternatives today. Mistake 4. Exercising without proper hydration. Dehydration during exercise doesn't just make you thirsty or tired. It thickens your blood, reduces total blood volume, and can trigger fatal heart attacks and strokes, while simultaneously making you dizzy and prone to falls that can kill you instantly. Most seniors are already mildly dehydrated before they even start exercising. because the sense of thirst decreases naturally with age, and many seniors deliberately drink less water to avoid frequent bathroom trips during the day or night. Then they exercise, sweat out more fluid, lose even more through breathing, and push their bodies into a dangerous state where blood becomes like sludge trying to move through vessels, and the heart has to work 3 times harder to pump that thick blood through the body. Harvard Medical School studies show that dehydration increases cardiac event risk by 250% in seniors during exercise, and that's on top of the dramatically increased fall risk that comes from dehydration-induced dizziness and confusion. When you're properly hydrated, your blood flows smoothly through vessels, your heart can pump efficiently without excessive strain, and your brain gets steady oxygen supply that keeps you alert, balanced, and coordinated. When you're dehydrated, your blood volume drops significantly, and what's left becomes concentrated and thick like syrup. Your heart has to beat faster and much harder to move that thick blood through your circulatory system. Your blood pressure becomes unstable and unpredictable. Your brain doesn't get adequate oxygen and glucose, making you confused, dizzy, and uncoordinated. All of these factors combine to create a perfect storm for cardiac events and falls. Beatrice from Georgia was 70 years old and exercised in her garage, where she had a stationary bike and some light weights set up. It was summer. The garage was hot and poorly ventilated, and she didn't bring water with her because she thought she'd only be exercising for 20 minutes. 15 minutes into her workout, she became severely dizzy, stood up from the bike, and immediately fell forward, hitting her head hard on the concrete floor. She died 3 hours later from a brain hemorrhage caused by that fall, a completely preventable fall that would never have happened if she'd been properly hydrated. The consequence of exercising while dehydrated goes far beyond just feeling bad or having low energy. Dehydration causes your blood to thicken dramatically, which leads directly to blood clots, forming in your legs, heart, or brain. Those clots cause heart attacks, strokes, and pulmonary embolisms that kill quickly and without warning. Dehydration causes dangerous dizziness that leads to falls, and falls in seniors lead to head injuries, hip fractures, and death at truly alarming rates. Your kidneys can't function properly when you're dehydrated during physical exertion, potentially causing acute kidney failure that requires hospitalization and can be permanent. But the solution is simple, costs absolutely nothing, and takes just seconds of your time. Drink 8 to 16 ounces of plain water 30 minutes before you start any exercise session. Keep a water bottle with you during exercise and take small sips every 10 to 15 minutes, aiming for 4 to 6 ounces per 15-minute period of activity. After you finish exercising, drink another 8 ounces of water minimum to replace what you lost through sweat and breathing. If you're exercising in hot weather or for longer than 30 minutes, you may need significantly more water. Don't wait until you feel thirsty, because by the time you actually feel thirsty, you're already dehydrated enough to be at risk. Your next workout without proper hydration could genuinely be your last. These 4 mistakes, skipping warm-up, ignoring warning signs, doing high-impact exercise with existing conditions, and not hydrating properly, kill thousands of seniors every single year. But every single one is completely preventable with simple corrections that take just minutes to implement and cost you nothing. You can exercise safely and gain all the tremendous health benefits without taking deadly risks. Starting tomorrow with these corrections, you dramatically reduce your risk of cardiac events, falls, and injuries, while still getting stronger, healthier, and more independent. Which of these mistakes have you been making? Be honest in the comments, because your answer might save someone else's life. Share this video with every senior you know right now. These simple corrections could literally save their life tomorrow. Hit subscribe for more life-saving health information designed specifically for people over 60.